my grandmother, my father's mother, used to bring an apple sponge cake every year, huge vats of it, and way more than anybody could ever eat, and it would always get moldy by, before we finished it. And she also made gefilte fish, which had no flavor. And my father would, as soon as she came into the house with it, he would, throw it into a pot and add all kinds of vegetables, and by the end it would be a bit better. But at a certain point, he convinced her that it was too much work and she should not bother. And he started making gravlax, which was obviously very different from gefilte fish, and that became during my sort of adult years, and now my brother and I both do it for Seders. That's what our family now does. Instead of gefilte fish, we have gravlax on Pesach. And the other, my father had he was very into his particular way of making charoset also, that had almonds as well as walnuts. And I remember sitting around in the kitchen in Bloomfield, the town where I lived for the first, till I was in college. And he had a hand meat grinder, and he would put the nuts and the apples through there, and it would be the whole family would be sitting around while he made the charoset. Oh, and the other thing is potatoes for the karpas. My father's family, or I think it was my father's family, had a tradition of not just eating parsley but potatoes for the first blessing for fruit of the earth. And my mother, so we would always have a small piece of boiled potato at the beginning of the Seder. And my mother, almost every year, as if it were the first time she'd experienced this, would say something like, "A boiled potato never tasted so good." And now, my mother died now 11 years ago, but somebody at the Seder table has to say that now every year. It's sort of, part of, it's like the 4 questions. Somebody has to make the boiled potato comment, sort of in memory of my mother at the Seder.